What's up, folks? Hell of a week. Freaking coffee, man. Love it. Yeah, so interesting story. Jesus. It's an interesting story. Well, anyways, I finally got a crucial tool to add to the shop. Freaking oxyacetylene all set up. It's kind of a weird gauge. I don't know what the hell kind of gauge here. They only have one dial on them. Not a whole lot of light in here. Sorry about the video. Anyone knows what kind of gauge that is? It's Victor. Not that much, but anyways, yeah, just screwing around the shop tonight. Bought these guys. I actually had to take since these were since this fucker almost killed me. It stuck on 20, on 20 there. It actually I set the regulator, I turned the rate off, and I cranked it up to about 30 pounds just to test it out. And that fucker was good for about 3 seconds, and then it just started climbing and climbing and climbing. It climbed so freaking high that it actually stuck right there. It stuck against that. And it was lucky that I bought this piece of junk. So just a word to those out there, anyone watching this, just buying secondhand stuff, buy it off somebody you know and trust, because buying bad shit like this can fucking kill you. Anyways, but I paid 75 bucks. Got a weird torch out of the deal. Never actually seen this brand of torch before, I don't think. A Presto weld. Like it feels really good. Like it's got lots of weight to it. And like the fittings and everything are really beefy. The cut's not bad. I already chopped up a chunk of railroad track to test it out. But anyways, freaking bench is just a disaster in here. Yeah, just fiddling around with some wood, working on things to make so I can find shit like this a little better. Because this is getting a little too much to handle here. Besides, hopefully I'll be getting a nice piece of sheet metal to cover up that bench right away. But yeah, first try using this thing, cutting it, didn't do too bad of a job, all things considered. Like, this is a rusty old nasty piece of track, and I could have probably cranked the oxygen up a little higher just to plow through that a little better. But otherwise, like it cut through this pretty nice. Like hardly any slag build up or nothing. Like as opposed to this other guy's cut. It's at least mine's straight anyway. Yeah, but that was the first cut I made with it. So I was hoping to make it some kind of an anvil, or just something to beat on steel with, really. I wouldn't really call it an anvil. Yeah, so here's me, just got a torch and drilling into wood. Yeah, this customer at work showed up and he had all these little chunks of wood in his truck. It's a really nice hardwood. Too bad it's going to get all greasy and stuff, but that's okay. That'll go right friggin' there. There. See? One problem solved. A little problem, but it's been a problem nonetheless. Yeah, I figured I'd solve some littler problems. Take a break from the big fat one in the room here. Yeah, it was really fun playing with a torch again. I bet you it's been 10 years since I ran a torch. Yeah, it's a lot different when you're doing it in your own shop, eh? It's like, you know, in someone else's shop, you're like, well, I don't know, if it blows up, eh? You just run for it. But when you're at your own house, you're kind of, you know, you're a little bit concerned about shit, you know, like, you know, I finally got a good neighbor. I'd hate to blow his ass up too, you know. That was fun though. I can't wait to get some brazing. I'm thinking that'll be a tomorrow job. It's already almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I got a late start out in the shop today, so kind of figured I'd just tinker around, test out the torch. It's still got, I did do a soak test on it. There does seem to be a little tiny bit of a tiny leak in there. I can't seem to seal up. Well, I just stuck that old Harris one back on there. Seems to be holding. There's no bubbles or nothing, so well, at least we got no leaks. I don't know. Oh well. Well, we got 2 working gauges. They just don't match, I guess. I'll have to settle for that. My OCD will have to just suffer for now. But the acetylene seems to be working good. At least I can get a good read on the pressure on it too. So yeah, I just thought these were kind of cool. Like they got the graduations right on the focus. There you go. Like they got the graduations right there. It's weird. So yeah, actually, I think I have a new favorite tool. I think I have a new favorite tool. My little protractor here. It saved my ass today. I gotta tell you, this chuck was so bad. Like I'll admit that I tried to fix it before I had the protractor, and well, let's just say, needless to say, I fucked it up worse. But I like all these jaws were kind of different, so they were pulling everything in weird directions, and I could not straighten that out for the life of me. And you know, facing something off long like this was just impossible because it was just freaking all over the place. No matter which way you banged it, it would just be stuck in one direction out by a mile. So I took all the jaws out today, and I know, you know, I'm pretty sure I understand the whole concept of, like, you know, when you're tightening, the jaws are going to want to pull up a little bit. You know, I guess, well, in this direction to be, you know, they'd want to kind of, as you're tightening them up, they go like that, right? So I actually took the protractor and I measured all the grinds on them, and I fixed up the grinds on the ends of the jaws, and now, well, as you can see, I can actually I can face a part that's sticking well over 4 inches out, and it you know, it faced off pretty nice. Try to get that in there. There we go. Focus. There we go. Yeah, I was having a bitch of a time getting that centered out and lined up. Like, it's still out by a couple thou, but you know, that's totally reasonable. And at least now I can you know, I can center it out and put it between centers and get a decent turn out of it. That was a big problem. So yeah, I've been running around fixing little stuff today. It's actually been a pretty productive day, getting my shop and things in my shop where I wanted to put them. And this little thingamajigger, I've dubbed this my overcomplicated garbage can. The whole concept of this was just to build it out of junk that I found, right? And, you know, make something kind of interesting. And really, it's just an old whatchamacallit, recliner. Well, it was a powered recliner. You know, and it had lots of cool stuff in it. I started digging it apart because I wanted the linear actuator out of it, which is actually quite powerful. But then I had all this like the base and all the armature and all that other crap. And so I made a weird kind of frame out of it, you know, just a little bit of a, you know, it's ugly. It's ugly because that metal is so thin. But this was the thing that I needed the most on here, so I just kind of scabbed a little bit, found a little piece at work that I was in the garbage can, you know, hence the overcomplicated garbage can. And I, yeah, there's my, and then, so now the bag's got, you know, you gotta cup the bag, you know, cup the bag. So it's finally complete. Yeah, the overcomplicated garbage can. I kind of wish that I started filming videos when I was making this. I actually made this in the dark with the roof half collapsed on this building before I got the new roof put on it. So there was a few things the roof collapsed and I was like, screw it, I'm buying my welder anyway. And I wanted to test it out, and I had some old bed frame material kicking around, and I scabbed together a little welding buggy. And all this, it was with one light bulb going on in here, you know, before I had a nice new roof put in. So yeah, the whole deal here is just, it's been a while. Finally got the compressor where I wanted to put it, all tucked away nice and neat in the corner. Oxyacetylene bottles are working and hooked up, no leaks. So pretty soon I'm gonna be I'm gonna have to take this insulation down, I think, because there is some leaks in the roof right above the freaking electrical panel. That's not good. So I pulled the plastic down and drained it so it would land over there somewhere. Son of a bitch, brand new roof leaking. Yeah, this is where I'm kind of planning to put the welding table if I ever get one. Still kind of looking for some scrap metal, preferably a large piece of 1/2-inch plate for the welding table. I don't want no, I could use brake metal, but it wouldn't be beefy enough for that sort of thing. And actually, I even priced out a nice top for this thing too. Get that wood out of here, because it's just so filthy. And there's no way to clean it once you get that oil into it. It's done. It used to look nice. It was all nice, good one-side fur, and now it's it's a mess. So yeah, taking apart the old Atlas here. She's got some bearing issues. This bearing is just like the housing in there is like, you can feel the ridge in there. She's pretty wallered out. Not to mention the counter shaft, shaft. You can see the line right there. And she's pretty worn out. This side in particular, this is the side, the drive pulley side. So naturally this one is actually not too bad. I was gonna try to snug that up just a skosh, just to save on grease. Maybe. But this side I wanted to take a look at because it was pretty sloppy. And now I know why. So on another shittier note, you can hear that crunchiness in there. Yeah, that bearing's gone too. So I'm not even sure. I should probably take some pictures of this before I take it apart. But yeah, she's gonna have to come apart, and I'm not changing one bearing and not the other. So we're gonna get some bearing issues fixed up here. I know this one's okay. It's just a Babbitt bearing, I guess, but I know they're tight, so I'm not too worried about those. Yeah, and this guy too. I don't even know if I'm gonna fuck with brazing that. I might just. That's not a lot of meat there. Like, I don't know if I can put it into context here. Like, well, this is the 1/2-inch bolt head right here. So it's not very big. So I don't know if it'll ever be good enough for that. I'll focus on it. There you go. So we're gonna try to get this old girl fixed up here. This part I can do without the lathe, I think. Pretty sure. Yep, we'll get her working here. I'd like to be able to crank this buddy up. She's supposed to be able to do like a ridiculous amount of RPMs as far as I'm concerned looking at this thing. I think the max right there, 2072 RPM. So, yeah, no way. Like, I almost want to put a slower motor on this thing. Because, yeah, man, that's 2,000 RPM on this. Man, this thing would be crazy. Crazy. Definitely got to bolt her down for that. Yep. But yeah, I noticed, like, when you're kicking into high gear, when you're using the back pulley here, the top one, it's, the belt is significantly tighter. Like, I'm wondering if that's the right pulley for this thing or not. Who knows? I think I did the math on the pulley reduction. I like measured them physically, and it was, yeah, it was pretty close to 2072. Very close. So, yeah, another more repairs. That's the weirdest freaking bearing I've ever seen. I was considerably debating just making the new housings for those, and you know, put these ones back on for the time being and make new housings. I'm gonna measure everything up and maybe put some tapered roller bearings in there. I don't know, something a lot better than that. That's probably okay. It's been good for 80 years, so fuck if I know. What the hell do I know anyway? Yeah, the old girl's, she's on hiatus for the moment. No point in fixing your power feed if you don't got power. Wow, look at this thing. It's got freaking moss and dirt and all kinds of good stuff in that. I can't believe that was running. Holy shit. That is, wow. Yeah, this old girl it was time for some cleanup. Holy shit. No wonder that thing's squealing. Okay, well, I'm going to have to be careful with this because this is kind of a... Alright, there's a contactor. That's a weird looking son of a bitch right there. Yeah, we're going to have to be very careful with this. Oh, wow, is that ever filthy? That is nasty. But fucking beefy, though. Apparently these were really good motors. Obviously they are, because it still works. Yeah, we're going to have to clean that up a bit. And I know that bearing is toast already, so at least now we can get to the bearing. That was kind of the whole idea. And there's some shims in there. And there's the bearing. It could have been even just, well, it looks like there's some kind of spring in there to hold it in. I better document this shit or I'm gonna fuck it up, so I'm gonna have to take those contacts out of there very carefully. Holy cow, is that ever dirty? Wow. You really don't want to break any of these wires because they're freaking 100 years old, and copper tends to work harden. So we're gonna try to get good pictures of where everything's going, if I can, without wrecking anything else. Yeah, wow, that's some old tech right there. Alright, well, I'm gonna get back to it. Alright, so I got the old motor apart here. That's quite the unit. I've actually never taken a motor like this apart before. So, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Like, there's still some rubbing there from what? Probably just some grime and shit that got inside the motor. The windings don't look bad, though. All things considered, that it's 80 years old. There's no scarring or nothing in there, not a whole lot. Like I'm not an electric motor expert, so it looks like there's some wear in there, but I don't think it's too anything to get concerned about. I got pictures for all the little connections and stuff, so I'm just gonna leave that right over there where it's not gonna get fucked up. Yeah, so much for not breaking anything else. I tried pulling this fucker off there, and what happened a while back, like this screw, like it probably happened before, because I know that all that damage wasn't just me, but this screw came loose and this pulley was just spinning on that shaft, so it kind of wallered up the shaft a little bit on the end here. You know, I'll try to sand that out of there and give it a lick with the file, so it's next time I put a new pulley on there, it's not gonna, you know, take the high spots off of there. And you're gonna focus. Focus. There we go. Yeah, see, that's from that fucker turning in there. But the shaft, you know, all things considered, it isn't too bad. Like this side's really nice. This is the bearing that was buggered up. Like it does rattle around a little bit. It doesn't feel that bad, but I know there's some rough spots in there. You put pressure on it and you can feel the probably can't hear it on camera. I can sure hear it though. Definitely got some rough spots in there. I'm not sure what kind of bearing that is. Made in USA. I can see it really good with the camera. SKF bearing. It doesn't look too rare or nothing. I'll probably just do both if I can. I don't really have a press, which is kind of a problem. What I had to do to get that freaking pulley off after it broke, I just kind of scabbed a chunk of flat bar, 3/8 flat bar, and stuck it on the stuck it behind the unit here, which is what I might do for this too, because it worked pretty good. And then I used a puller and just pulled it off. So this might be what I go with on this one. We'll see. I don't want to fucking wreck it, because yeah, I might make a better one than that, a tighter one. We'll see how easy it comes off. Just I don't want to damage this, because this is it's a cool old motor. I hate wrecking old shit. Pulley shouldn't be too hard to find. You'd think it's just a freaking 2-step pulley. I honestly don't even care if this big one is a little bit smaller, because yeah, 2070 RPM on that thing. No, that's just maybe if it's brand spanky new, but until that time, well, which is long past, obviously. Casings look good. You know, no cracks. I didn't manage to not break nothing. Thank friggin' God. So we'll keep those in a nice safe spot. There's the stamp with the motor on it. I really like that. That's, you know, I gave it a little bit of a wipe down too. It's got all the fixes on it. Yep. Classic. Yeah, and there's the back side right there. Oh, yeah, don't lose those. I actually had those right out of there. The front has a, looks to be like a load spring on there to keep load on the bearing too. I don't know if the back should have one too. I'm kind of thinking it should. Oh, why isn't that going back in there straight? Yeah, and there's just a little weird spring clip in there. There we go. Yes, we'll try to keep all this stuff together and in decent shape. And not lose stuff. That's a big no-no. So I guess now I gotta change the freaking pulley too, but yeah, it was yeah. You see how dirty it was. Holy crapes, there's a whole freaking moss moth nest in there. So, I don't know. I'm going to continue plugging away at this. I guess our gear cutting is on the back burner for the time being. Yeah, it was howling a little bit too scarily. And I didn't want to bring it to the point where that motor just totally shit the bed. Because if that bearing went and this thing started banging around in there, like that's not light. That's a heavy chunk of metal in there. Yep, so I'm going to try to get that bearing off of there. I'll reckon nothing else. Clean this burr off. I don't even know what that burr is from, to be honest. Yeah, the bearing's still right where it's supposed to be. Anywho, alright folks, well, I'm going to try to get a video out there. I'm going to try to get this video out there. There's quite a few bits and pieces of my last few, I don't know, projects, I guess you call it. So, I'll try to get something out there for my faithful viewers. Right on, guys. Hope you guys are having a great month. Enjoy your spring. Peace out.